Are you dreaming about going to Africa but aren't sure where to start? Maybe you're one of those people who watches the travel channels and National Geographics, hoping to one day see a scene like this in person. Or possibly you're someone who has been watching all of the horror stories in the news about Kenya and Africa and are wondering if they're true. If so, then this video is for you. This is Jermaine and I's second time in Kenya, and we believe by sharing our experience, we can help you plan your travel better. So over the next couple of weeks, we are going to be doing a Kenya series where we share the do's and don'ts, the musts and the must-nots of traveling to Kenya. If that's the kind of content you're looking for, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and don't forget to like this video. Today is day 1 of our 15 days in Kenya. We booked a hotel right there in Nairobi, not too far from the airport. We just got up, we're taking a look at the hotel, we're super tired, but we're gonna go ahead and grab some breakfast before we get on the road because we have a long ride from here out to the most remote areas of Kenya. The ride is supposed to be about 10 hours. So we'll be making a lot of stops for the restroom. We'll stop at some souvenir shops, and of course we'll stop to eat, and I'll make sure I share that stuff with you. In the meantime, let me explain to you guys why we are in Kenya. We're in Kenya because we are part-time missionaries, meaning there are a few months out of the year or a few weeks out of the year that we devote our time to doing mission work in other countries. This is the second country that we've been to on missions, and this is the second time that we've been to Kenya. And I just love it here so much that I'm really ready to move here. My goal is to be able to leave the US and rent something in Kenya and do more missions work and just enjoy the country because Kenya is such a beautiful country.
Especially this.
We are coming up on one of the first souvenir shops that we stopped at, and I'll go ahead and give you guys a tour throughout the shop so you can see all of the wonderful knickknacks and things that they sell that you can buy for your family or for yourself. Everything is just so beautiful. You may be wondering how much you should budget for souvenirs when you're traveling to Kenya. My husband and I typically budget around $200, but sometimes we have bumped that up, especially on our last trip, to about $300. But that seems to be about enough to pick up a few gifts for different family members or just something small that we may want. Now, if you want to buy a lot of big things, you may want to budget a little bit more, maybe around that $500 to $1,000 range. With a $200 budget, I was able to get some fabric and a few small wooden items for some friends, some of these masks that you just saw on the wall. And I was also able to grab a few jewelry pieces for some friends as well. We don't typically buy a lot of souvenirs because you do have to take into account the weight in your suitcase when you're traveling back home, unless you're going to spend the extra money to ship your souvenirs home. We're heading out to spend time with the Samburu people and the Turkana people. So we're going way out into the most remote areas, which I'll show you in the video. It takes about 10 hours for us to get to where we're going. We've stopped at a lot of different restrooms, and we stopped at a few souvenir shops, and we've snacked along the way. Right now we're going to go ahead and stop for dinner before we make it to our hotel. And we stopped at this really nice restaurant called the Trout Tree Restaurant. And you will see why once we get there. It's like no other restaurant I've ever been to in America. And if you decide to come to Kenya, I definitely want you to put this on your list of places to possibly visit. We've made it to the restaurant, and we are going to order some dinner before the last leg of our travels to our hotel. The theme of the Trout Tree Restaurant is kind of treehouse and also trout farm. So the way that they cook the food is they have trout that are grown right here, grown and raised on the property, and they get them out fresh when you place your order. They get the fish from down there, huh? Yeah, they get the fish from down. There were so many things on the menu, but of course we had to try the trout. That's what we came here for. While our order is being prepared, we're going to head down and take a look at the trout pools. So this place is set up like a tree house, and what I'm noticing is that there's multiple levels and different little areas and nooks where you can sit and eat. This place is so unique and nothing like I've ever experienced in the States. And even here at the lowest level, I'm finding even more seating. They have benches. It's way more like relaxed down here. There's not like the seating like upstairs that has the cushions, and then at the very top there's like the wooden table and the wooden chairs. But this is the very bottom. This is under the restaurant. Like I said, it's like a tree house. It's like I've never seen anything like this. But this is where all of the fish are grown. How neat is this? I love this. Back up on the kitchen level where the food is prepared, we're interacting and engaging with the staff, and as you can see, there's trees growing through the restaurant, and there's these little tree rats that are in the trees. They told us we can pick them up, we can pet them, we can hold them. I decided to pass. If you're finding this video helpful or you're enjoying the video, remember to hit the like button. Your support means the world to us, and it helps fellow travelers discover the best experiences. Another neat thing about this restaurant is the way they keep the beverages cool. They keep them down in the water. There's an empty basin down there which would typically hold trout, but this one is just for beverages.
Keep it in the water? Oh my gosh.
Here's our meal. And just by looking at it, you can tell it was delicious. It was so much food that we were so full. We've come to the end of our day 1 in Kenya vlog. The next video we share will be us checking into our African tent in the jungle. If you want to check that video out, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button so you can continue this series of Africa with us.